Warning: if you might be offended by foul language or off-color jokes, now is the time to kindly fuck off.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Londoner Calling Pubcast. As always, I am Ben Drabick, joined by Barry Tate. Barry, how we doing?
It's a stupid question.
I know.
Fucking England just lost the Euro final.
I always
doing?
ask.
Fuck's sake. I'm not even going to answer it. Stupid question.
Great. Well, today we have a fun agenda for y'all. We got Mike Hewit. He's a former guest. He's back again. We're going to talk about that England final loss. We're going to talk about the breaking news this morning of Gareth Southgate retiring. We're also going to talk about the Copa America, which was a crazy start to the final for some off-the-field antics. We'll dive a little bit deeper into that.
It was a shit show.
It was a shit show. The Colombia fans breaking into the stadium. We'll talk about that on the podcast more. But stick around. We're going to get straight into that interview with Mike Hewit right now. All right, and welcome into the interview segment of today's episode. We are joined once again by Mike Hewit. Mike, how are we doing today?
I'm doing good, thanks. Thanks for having me again.
Oh, thank you for being here. Barry, we got a lot to talk about.
Remember, It's coming home.
Yeah, well, no. I don't know what you want me to say there. No.
It sounds like something the landlord, phones up someone's wife. It's coming home. Yeah, he just left a minute ago. It's coming home.
Yeah, well, sadly, it did. We can start there. We got a lot to talk about between Euros, Copa, the Southgate firing this morning right before we got here. But let's start.
Titties.
We're not allowed to. We talked about this.
No, you warned Charlotte last week. Charlotte, we can't. I mean, you give us some...
Oh, yeah, it's true. We do say it. Yeah, Charlotte, sorry, he's going to say it. So let's get into it. The disappointment that was England versus Spain in the final. What a game it was, to be fair. Spain 0-0 for 45 minutes. Spain jump out to the lead with Nico Williams. Palmer comes on, scores a banger of a goal from outside the box. Great to see him playing, and not only playing, but thriving in the England side, too. Finally getting that goal for himself. And then it was the late show for Spain. It was poor tracking by Gahey, really poor tracking by Walker. I might mention Walker.
They're saying Walker for both goals. I was going
to say Walker could be at fault for both goals. Yeah. He didn't track his man, and then the cross that came in. Yeah. It was on his side, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Mike, what do you have to say about the performance, the game, the team, individuals?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same old. They, England didn't start off well in that game. When Spain scored is when England started to play.
It's been a theme all tournament, hasn't it?
Yeah, all tournament, and we play and we get the equaliser, and then we cool off again.
Yeah,
it
must be so frustrating as a fan to watch, because you see the potential, not only the potential, but the actual talent on display, right? Yeah. When England go 1-0 down, they've been 1-0 down every freaking group stage game. Switzerland, Slovakia.
It didn't worry me too much. We've been like this every
Slovakia,
game.
Netherlands. It happens. It always happens. But every time you go 1-0 down, it's like a different team comes out.
That's right. They turn off the gas again. It's
frustrating part for the fans is, where's that team from the start, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And do you question that on the players or on Southgate?
I think a little bit of both, to be honest, Ben. It's, Southgate has never been, the most
motivational,
motivational manager. You can't. I don't think you can fault his performance over the course of his management.
No, it's hard to with how much.
He's achieved a lot more than any previous manager has done.
Has.
And any previous manager, we've had players like, Gascoigne, Waddle, Hoddle, all those players never did anything. Mm-hmm. Southgate's changed that
to an extent,
albeit playing boring football.
It is boring football,
and you got to wonder why those players turn out week in, week out for their clubs and are absolute world beaters for their clubs.
Yeah,
and then they play for England and it just all falls apart.
Well, I'd love to talk about one player in specific that I've been very hard on this tournament, and I'd like to be even harder on him. Phil Foden was terrible.
He was.
Phil Foden, Agent 007, 0 goals, 0 assists, 7 starts at the tournament. Yeah. I thought not only did he not bring anything to the side, I thought he took away from other players. I thought the addition of Foden on the left wing, and then he kind of got a free roll later in the tournament, I thought it hindered Kane tremendously.
Yes.
Because here's my thing, right? I'm a hater for Harry Kane, all right? He played for Tottenham. Right. I'm very happy to slander him. But I'll be honest here, he was not given a chance to succeed at this tournament.
Correct.
You look at why he was successful with England and why he's England's top goal scorer. He always has a runner wherever he plays.
Yeah.
If it's Bayern Munich, Leroy Sané, Coman, he has a runner. At Tottenham, he had Heung-min Son, right? On England, he had Rashford, he had Sterling. But now Southgate wants to leave Rashford and Sterling, and I get that. I get that based on their current seasons, despite their England form.
Yeah.
But he replaces that runner-type mold that's so successful for Kane with Foden, who's not that.
Right.
And Foden's trying to get on the ball, he's trying to do this, he's trying to do that, and it just never really worked. And the thing that I was so frustrated by watching, because I was rooting for England, I wanted y'all to win, I wanted to come here and see Barry smile. It's rare that I get Barry to smile.
I wouldn't have smiled.
See? But the thing is, it just never worked. And Southgate, was so frustrating to me, is he would be so reluctant to take Foden off. You would see him push Saka to left back. You'd see him push Saka to right wing back. And it's not just Saka. You would see Watkin comes on for Kane before Foden comes off. Yeah. And it just felt like, how do you miss this glaring issue that's so obvious to everybody else?
In the previous games, the friendlies, which we never watched. Do you ever watch a friendly?
Not really.
I don't anymore. They're fucking useless. But you think you're trying to iron all that shit out in the friendly, so when you get to the tournament, 90% you know what you want, but then you keep, well, I've got to put him in and try him. I don't know.
Do you think that Southgate folded to media pressure of everyone saying Foden was the best player in the Premier League? You have to play him, you have to play him. Do you think the media had any effect on the way Southgate lined his team up?
I don't think the media had any effect. I think
that's why you keep doing that.
I do. You're right.
Hell.
Yeah,
he's going on about this bollock underneath his chin, and I'm watching now. You keep doing this shit.
You started that.
He's thinking. He's doing the thinker.
He's
thinking. But instead of his chin, he's going. He's got a lot on his neck.
All
right, back to the football.
He starts from the real chin, then he goes to the double chin, then he goes straight down to the penis. Yeah, he does.
All right, sorry, Charlotte. Sorry, Charlotte. That wasn't me. That was Barry. Sorry, Charlotte. Mike, get back to what you were saying about the team, and do you think the media maybe affected Foden getting so many minutes?
I don't think the media affected it. I think what does make me think is, we've got, the FA have always appointed yes men as England managers.
Yeah.
And you've got to wonder how much goes on behind the scenes from the FA, the top men at the FA, putting ideas into the managers' heads. You know what I mean? It's like, is Southgate actually making these decisions on his own, or is there some influence coming from behind the scenes at the FA? And which you don't, maybe the players. Because at one time the FA used to select the players. Years and years ago. You still got to wonder whether there's that little bit of interference from the top men at the FA that are going into that.
So what's going to be now? We're going to see who they bring in now.
Yes,
they got to be.
Some of the names I've seen. Eddie Howe is a very heavily linked name. I think that he's probably the one that most fans would want. You look at his success at Newcastle, what he's done. Now, obviously, success came with a blank checkbook from the Saudis, so fair play to him.
And also, he knows how to talk to the media.
He does.
You know what I mean? He's done very excited on the line. He's not going to be controversial.
My favorite thing that he's done over the past couple of years is beat the living shit out of Tottenham twice at home, like 7-1 and 5-1. That's my favorite thing that I've seen from him. I had to get that in the episode, right?
Yeah.
But on a serious note, I really do think that he's a coach that can not only help the level of football, but I think he relates to players so well.
Right.
I think that he could individually get more out of these players. That I think Southgate, and for me, again, Southgate's selection is very frustrating. I think Howe could be better in that department because for me, I've watched Southgate play his best right wing at left back before his best right back got to play right back, right?
Yeah.
I'm talking about Saka playing left back and Trent barely featuring this tournament. And I don't want to slander Walker because it's really easy to do that now that he's had, let's call it what it was. It was a bad tournament for him. It wasn't his best. I didn't think he was great. And again, he's an older man. He's got two families to take care of.
Has Kane played his last game for England?
I don't think so. I think that he will not have a better shot at winning a trophy with England, though. I think that was his best shot at winning a trophy with England.
I was all ready to take this down.
Yeah?
Yeah. Harry's called silverware.
No,
I was all ready to take that.
It's so funny. My roommate, who is, he's an Arsenal fan by just me never shutting up and watching all the games. He's started to watch the games and be a fan too. And he was like, I really want to see Kane win a trophy because I want to see what he would be like, how he would react. Yeah. And I'm like, buddy, don't hold your fucking breath. Don't hold your breath, my friend.
It's a shame.
Well, I saw this too. Over the two finals of both Euros against Italy and now Spain, Kane had one touch in the opposition box between both games.
Yeah, but it was a fucking good touch.
Was it?
Yeah, I remember it.
Yeah.
You're doing it.
Yeah, now you're taking the piss. So, with all that being said, big ups to Spain. Also, I do want to credit Spain far and away.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, we've always...
Croatia, Italy, Germany, France, and England.
Yeah.
Albania, too. I don't want to leave them out.
Yeah.
But, oh my God, what a run.
Yeah.
What a run. And the youth talent they have, Lamine Yamal.
Oh, yeah.
Nico Williams, by the way. I thought he was the best player of the tournament.
Yeah.
And take nothing away from Rodri. I do want to touch... Go on, sorry.
One thing I did read, it said we lost to Spain in the final, obviously.
That's
and it
true.
said, you know, Rodri, he went off. There's another one that got injured a while, of one of their best midfielders.
Pedri was out
That's
previously, but
Yes.
Olmo was the one that came on. He had the goal line clearance on
Well,
Gahey,
what I'm saying is,
actually.
they said their midfield, they said, was decimated. He said, we didn't get beat by Barcelona or a Man City type midfield. We got beat by Villarreal midfield.
So-
that's who the players came from. And I kind of get that.
I agree with that, but I also think that's a little bit disrespectful from the English media to some of these players on Spain, because you look at when Rodri went out, right? What was the universal reaction? 0-0, halftime. Rodri's going out. England's, we've got to take it. It's England our favorite. England have the advantage now.
Yeah.
I think that's so disrespectful to some of these Spanish midfielders.
Yeah.
And in a way, I'm not trying to shut England here. Good for them for making y'all shut up.
Yeah.
Because Zubamendi came on. He's a Real Sociedad midfielder, and he fucking bossed the game. He didn't miss a beat replacing Rodri.
Yeah.
And again, I think that the English kind of got served on a play. They said, Rodri's gone. We've got 45 minutes. We could take it. Spain said, shut your damn mouth. We have plenty of talent. Don't worry.
What was it? I really, when I say I don't get to watch the game, I was absolutely shit street.
These bars. We'll
Sunday
talk about
here,
it.
we was anyway.
We'll get into that in a minute, but yeah.
But when you were there in Addison, obviously, you know, so when Spain scored, I mean, like I said, it was
first
just,
one?
it was like a funeral.
Yeah.
The first one, Nico Williams,
Oh, second one was worse.
Yeah, I can
First one
imagine.
that went in, but when England scored, I'm telling you, you must be the same down there.
It went up in Addison. I mean, I got drowned in beer.
that's
I
beautiful.
mean, literally, and it happens every time. It's just, obviously, it just, you know, everyone
Rains. It
erupts.
rained. Well, once there was a European Champions League final.
Yeah.
And I forget who it was. It got scored. A beer went up and it hit the projector machine, and the screen went.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I remember
and then
that.
we had trouble in that
Someone,
one. Yeah.
whoever hit that's probably
I
sitting there
remember that. I
shitting
remember that.
themselves.
Yeah. But yeah, it was crazy. It just went mental. You know, you just.
Hey, you've got to tell a story. So we opened the pubs here at 10 o'clock in Addison. For some unknown reason, they opened at 11.
Yeah.
For the final.
Yeah.
And
I'm-
the 2 p.m. final. So
Yeah,
you're
I know
opening
it's a 2 p.m.
3-4
final. We know
hours
we gotta-
previously. Oh, I know that you're
So
busy.
in Addison, I had about, God knows, 100, 200 people waiting to get in by 11, if not more.
Probably.
So they're all sitting on a patio. They're all having a drink.
Yeah.
Tell them the story.
Go on.
So we're all around there. We get down there about 9:30, 10 o'clock. You know, we're sat out there. Everybody's drinking. There's
Yeah,
beer
gotta
flowing
warm up.
outside.
They shouldn't be, by the way, but they all sitting on the patio drinking.
I know.
Allegedly.
Yeah,
Allegedly.
allegedly.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was shandy or something. Anyway.
Yeah.
So everyone's sat there, and of course, people are coming up and don't realise the pub's not open
No,
yet.
you
They
can't
just
get
think
in.
they just think we're outside.
They see all them
drinking.
They just think you're like, oh, we're having a beer.
So people will come up and walk through everybody and try the door, and it's locked. So. Of course, the English being the English, you got to make a game out
my
of
God,
everything, right? You got to game out of everything.
Yeah.
So people come walking in through the gates, and they all said like about 50, 100 people. Oh, try the door! Yay! You know, and some of them are embarrassed and they won't look at anyone.
They're probably like, what are they yelling about?
Other
There's no game
ones will
on.
turn around and go, "Hey."
So
again,
that's awesome.
Again, that just shows with the others, and everybody knows, kind of knows everybody, or they all jump in
Everyone's
and
taking the piss.
It's a fun day.
Do you want a beer? Do you want a beer?
I mean, England lost, but it was still a fun day. As such.
was.
No, and I
Yeah,
think
it
that's really
was.
important to remember too. Is you talk about like the tournament itself and the joys that I had through. Like it's about the journey to an extent, because it really was a fun tournament for England to come back all those times, win all those games the way they did. It sucks losing the final, but everyone's like, "Oh, would you rather lose to what was it, Slovakia, or would you rather lose in the final?"
You know what it's like when
Yeah.
USA went out. You kind of lose interest in the tournament.
Right.
A little bit.
Yeah.
At least we
Yeah.
were able to go
Definitely.
right up
Yeah.
to the last.
Yeah.
No,
couple
at
of
least
minutes.
you stuck it out. Trust me, I know, but if you just stick it out to the last couple
We're
of
not going
games.
to mention it. I mean, that's,
Yeah, that's all right. I will. Yeah, no, we got to get England. Like I said, we got to get England right here too. Y'all are back to back as well.
I told you
Second
it's too
places.
soon.
Huh?
I told you it's too.
I don't think it's
fucking
too
nothing.
Yeah, fucking nothing. Pause. That means something different in America. All right, so let's talk about Gareth
Hey, I
Southgate.
told you before, we had an English fella here, John Eggleton.
Okay.
He's a fucking nut job anyway. I know
Yeah.
he was a hooligan, like one of the.
Yeah,
I know he was. He used to go
yeah.
to Chelsea and watch them. And we're here and we're absolutely packed. Spain scored, and his Spanish skeezer starts jumping up and down. Everyone's saying, "Oh, you cunt, calm yourself down." He said, "Spain have just scored." He said, "You don't fucking come into an English pub and celebrate a fucking Spanish goal."
He's real. He's so real for that. He's dead serious too.
No, but he was. He said, "I lost it." He said later on, I went and apologised. I shook his hand, and you know, it's you've got to be careful. I mean, you've got to use your brain.
No, you do have to be careful. I remember. So actually, I got to go to the World Cup back in 2014 in Brazil.
Okay.
And I'm probably 15, 16 years old at the time, punk kid, very much looking to be loud and make some noise, right? We're not drinking or anything, we're kids in Brazil. So we go to this bar, and it was United States, Portugal. And if those who remembered the Jermaine Jones goal from outside the box, curler against Portugal to tie it up in like the 75th minute. Needless to say, I had two...
Me and Mike are nodding like...
Yeah,
like,
yeah, for me,
remember.
It was a big... USA ended up drawing Portugal, which was a major upset in the World Cup, right?
Okay,
this is 2014 Ronaldo, right? So, like, again, very good Ronaldo, right?
Yeah.
And Pepe's a younger man. They got plenty of talent.
We don't remember because we don't fucking care, do we?
You don't. But this is the point of the story to relate to what you just said about that you don't celebrate. So USA scores that goal. We're going crazy. And before that, we had these two full-grown Portuguese men that were very loud to us, we're like fucking 16, and they're like, when they score, turning around us and yelling, like our chaperone mom is like, they're 15 years old, like, what do you do? So when USA scored, you bet your ass I got up from my table, went over to their table, in their face. Oh, they wanted to fight me. They were ready to fight me. I had to get pulled back by the chaperone mom, like, oh, we're sorry. I'm like, I'm not sorry, baby. Like,
so they wanted to fight you, but someone pulled you away? Them two hunks are lucky you. They didn't fucking let you loose.
Well, I was also 15 years old.
Over here.
I was also 15 years old at the time, just trying to be a little shit, make some noise. So I was giving it to them too. But I get, people don't mess around. You don't celebrate like that.
A lot of people don't really. I mean, you can go to NFL games, and now and again you might get a little bit of a.
I've seen many fights. Many fights.
The odd one and that, but I don't think people realise. I mean, if you look at the Uruguay game and that with the fans.
Oh, Colombia.
Colombia.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's move on from the Euros and we'll come back to Gareth.
I'll tell you what, because they're my wankers of the week. The security at that and the Hard Rock Stadium.
So so let's talk about what happened. So for those that didn't see, Hard Rock Stadium in Miami hosted Colombia versus Argentina this Sunday night in the Copa America final. The game was set to kick off at 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. It kicked off an hour and a half late, roughly, hour 15, hour and a half late. The reason being, Colombian fans who did not buy tickets basically stormed the gates. They were climbing through the vents, anything they could to get in the stadium. And I assure you there were many, many, many fans that did not pay for a ticket that sat in that stadium that night. Now, the part that's really annoying, tickets were going for upwards of $2,000. Like, damn near minimum. And again, it's a way overpriced. We're not going to touch on that. We've touched on that previously. We know it's a joke, the price to get fans in these games. But think about the fans that actually paid that. Like, imagine that you paid $2,000, $2,500 to get into this game to go see. Obviously, Messi was hurt, but to see Messi, to see James,
imagine you pay $2,000 and you go to your seat. There's someone sitting there.
Well, not even someone's there, but you can't get in the stadium.
Excuse me, mate. That's my seat, and you give me a ticket. Fuck off.
Well, imagine you can't even get in the stadium. Like, I saw videos of fans like being like, I paid $2,000, I paid $2,000, and they're like at a gate, and the security's like, I can't let anyone in, good or bad.
England had a certain the Euros, didn't they? When it was in England, the final.
Wembley. Yes, that's right. Yeah.
So they should be aware of this stuff. What I'm saying is security. I don't care if it costs you. Beef it up. Put it on there. Be ready.
Everyone's saying too. Everyone's saying too. Oh, it's the United States. It's the USA. They can't handle. This was column ball. They were the ones that took control of all the security measures and everything. This isn't on the country that it's hosted in, because again, we've seen it at other countries where, like you said, in England, Wembley, in France, we've seen it too. It happens where fans just crowd and they take advantage of this. Now, that being said, I think that this needs to be a turning point before the World Cup here.
Sure.
This needs to be the biggest wake-up call.
It was a rehearsal and you saw what happened.
It needs to be a wake-up call because if you think, no disrespect, because shout out Colombia for turning up at every game this tournament, by the way. Their fans were terrific until the very end when they broke through the stadium. But in the stadium, showing up, numbers outstanding. Amplify that by like 20 for the World Cup for every country, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's a huge wake-up call for every game is going to be like that. Even smaller countries are going to bring people. They're going to pack the stadiums. It's going to be nuts. It needs to be a wake-up call for this.
When England come on over, I would imagine you're going to go to the game together. How much are you willing to pay for a ticket maximum before you say, oh, fuck it?
Good Lord.
Group stage, not knockout. Group
stage. I mean, I'd probably pay, I don't know, 250, 300.
You might get parking for that.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not even trying to be an asshole here. Like, you literally might get parking for that.
You know, it depends.
But you can you can buy in advance, can't you?
You can,
when
but
they come out.
Well, the thing, everyone's going to try to buy in advance, then resell. That's the way it works. So if you're going to buy in advance, you have to be on it.
So as an England fan, there are. I mean,
you belong to a group, don't you?
Well, I don't anymore, but I'm thinking I might. Well, I used to travel all over I used to travel all over the world watching England as a member of England Fans Club, because what they did was for every away game that you went to, you got points, and the more points you accumulated.
And what do points make?
Prizes. So, but you accumulate.
I'm not English. I have no idea what that is.
That's a very English thing.
Y'all were so quick to like prizes. Prizes.
It was a game show host, and that was his all about points. And he said, "What are points made?" All audience prizes.
Suppose you ain't nothing for a pair.
No, you don't get nothing for a pair.
Anyway, all right, deal or no deal over here. Let's get back to the conversation.
But so you get points, and then the more points you amass, the more chance you had of getting a ticket, because the FA gets a certain number of tickets to sell to their fans.
Yeah.
So that's a way of making sure that the more loyal
and
the
they still
fan.
Do that?
Yeah, they still do that. They do. They still do that. Now, obviously, there's never enough tickets to go around, even for England fans members. Mm-hmm. So they issue so many tickets to the people who have the most points, and then they have a lottery among the England fans members for the remainder of the tickets. So
many extra steps. But
it
helps. It helps get away from resellers.
It does help.
When you travelled around, what was the maybe not the best tournament, what was the best game or the best experience you had when on your travel? I know you went to Korea.
Best experience was I was at the World Cup in Japan in 2002.
That's sick.
And I think I might have mentioned this the last time I was here. Was Beckham's penalty against Argentina when that penalty went in against Argentina. That was probably the best moment. One of the best experiences, I think.
Which country have you liked the best?
I think my trip out to Macedonia was a really good trip.
I wouldn't expect that way.
I would never have said Macedonia.
I flew into Thessaloniki in Greece, and my plan was to get a rental car and drive up through Macedonia. Only to find out that they wouldn't allow rental cars out of Greece into Macedonia.
Yeah, fair.
So I was with a buddy out there, and we were scrambling around trying to find out how the hell we could get to Macedonia. And we found an overnight train that took us.
That's a nut, isn't it?
Is what?
It's a nut, isn't it?
What?
Macedonia.
No, it's a macadamia.
Okay. Yeah, you were really close though.
I wanted to see if he knew. Okay, I was testing him.
You got it. He was sharp on that. All right, back to actually let's stay with Copa. Messi, injured, came off, but again, is it not somewhat similar to Ronaldo's Euro win? Do you not see the parallels? Do you see the parallels to Ronaldo's Euro win here with Messi's Copa win here? Not carried the team, but did a lot throughout the tournament for the team. I know Messi wasn't really on the goal scoring sheet, but his presence is a lot.
His presence makes a lot of difference.
And then he comes off injured in the final. His team goes on to win it. Big shout out to Lautaro Martinez, leading goal scorer of the tournament. Brilliant finish. I thought he was outstanding all Copa.
He's Inter Milan, is he?
He is Inter, especially for a man that doesn't start for Argentina a lot. He led the
I don't know why. I mean, every time he comes on, he's
Julian Alvarez, who also is a very good talent in his own right. Yeah. So fair play.
He's not scoring though, is he?
He is.
Alvarez?
Yeah, he scored the first goal of the tournament, and I believe...
That's what I said after that.
No, he didn't score too much after that. You're right. You didn't know.
You keep going on. You didn't know. You're right, eventually.
You didn't know. But yeah, so we see the parallels there. How much does this cement Messi as the greatest ever? Does this two Copas now and a World Cup? That's 3 straight international tournaments. He's like a prime Spain.
Yeah, I mean, he's you can't deny it. I mean, I'm always against... or I'm never keen on calling people the greatest ever, because everyone has their different, list. But you can't take it away from him.
It's hard.
You really can't.
Is it just universal at this point? He's the greatest ever, Barry, to you?
Who?
Messi.
No, because I've always been a fan of Pele, only because of the pitch and the balls that they used to play with. And does that make sense?
It's a different style.
A lot harder. Yeah.
I mean, I guess.
I think the greatest ever never played in a World Cup was George Best.
Oh yeah,
you don't think George Best was the greatest soccer player?
I'm telling you, the pitches he played on, the bat.
He has one of my favorite quotes, which was in like 19 whatever something. I gave up women, alcohol, and drugs. Worst 30 minutes of my life.
Yeah.
Again, one of my favorite quotes. But I personally think it's Messi.
Yeah.
I think that his brain operates at just a different level than everyone else.
But also, you haven't seen all these other ones. That's old fuckers.
That's true. That's true.
I saw Best play.
We're different generations here. I've never seen Best. Messi's the best that I've seen. I'm sure 30 years down the road, if I have a kid, he might be talking about some other random player that, he's the best ever, right?
Ernie.
Okay, go on. I don't know what this is going.
Ernie. When I worked
fastest
down the market,
milkman in the West.
No, I'm going to talk about. the baddest milkman in the West.
Fastest
Milk. Yeah.
Fastest milkman in the West.
She won't forget Ernie. But anyway, another not long one.
Christ.
Ernie. When I used to work down the market, 17, the fellow used to have a stall. Used to sell fish. All day he's cutting up and gutting fish all day for the restaurants in the area. And you're standing there. If you didn't see Ernie when he was walking past you, if you didn't see him, he'd rub 2 fingers across your mouth. Have you tasted your girlfriend lately? I'm telling you don't want to taste fucking raw fish that's been gutted.
That is so gross.
It was, but it's funny. I mean, not when it got you up, for fuck's sake, Ernie. It was. He'd always do it to everybody.
Oh my God. All right, we're going to move on. We're going to move on from Ernie. I do want to wrap this conversation. I think we can talk about this one for a minute here.
I'll have to introduce him to Mary.
Oh God. All right, we're going to still move on here. And I want to ask this question because I think this is a really good conversation point, is do we consider Gareth Southgate a success in his time at England?
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, I think you have to.
Yeah. Listen, we're England fans, and we've never seen them go past. I've been here, but they never even made the World Cup.
Yeah.
So, he got us to 2 finals, a semi, a quarter-final.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might not have been the style that you'd like to have. Everybody wants your team to be the best player going forward, scoring goals and that, but we got there.
Yeah.
And good luck to him. And I wouldn't want the England job. I've been offered it. I told you.
I know you've been offered it.
And I think as a supporter of a team, you want to see results. I mean, yes, the style of play does matter, but the most important thing to a supporter of a club is results.
I'd win 1-0 ugly rather than
it's like, when Wigan won the Championship to get into the Premier League, we won almost every game 1-0.
Doesn't matter.
It didn't matter.
Yeah. You look at when Chelsea won the Premier League under Jose, right? Every game was 1-0, 2-0. But they won.
Yeah.
And it was ugly as hell, and they won.
Yeah.
What's that thing? Don't wish for...
I have no clue where you're going.
I
need more than that.
He said, we only won the game 1-0 when we won the championship. They'd happily take a fucking 1-0 victory now. They haven't stopped fucking losing that much. Wouldn't you? You'd go for a 1-0, wouldn't you?
Yeah. This is going to be our season.
But I find it interesting how quickly y'all were both so rapid to say, yes, he's been a success, despite no trophies.
Yeah.
Yet here we are and we criticize players like Kane, Barry criticizes teams like Arsenal for not winning the trophies, yet you were so quick to say Southgate is success. Do you not see a contradiction there?
Because we've seen the failure. We've seen it all for years.
Yeah.
And it got us to the final. We were able to stand his cheer, jump. We didn't win it, but fuck, we got close.
Yeah.
No.
How can you make fun of Arsenal with that premise against England?
Because they're shit. I mean, you spend all that money, because I'll tell you why.
But do you not see how that is contradiction? You're saying we never got there, we struggled for so long, we suffered for so long.
Don't you think that football is about contradictions?
It could be. I can see that
so.
way.
Every supporter of a club is,
biased,
contradictory about every other team.
Yeah.
It's part of the game.
It's agendas, it's everything.
Yeah, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm going to get you your own bride and trophy for England next time I come back. When I come back from the Olympic Games, England runners-up back-to-back side.
If you know the English press, they are lethal.
They're brutal.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
The Southgate's to go
experts.
for that. You go for that. God knows where he lives, but he's got neighbours. He goes down to the pub and all that. He's a bloke with a normal life.
My thing about the England press is they are experts in raising someone up and putting them up on this pedestal, they are even better at tearing them down immediately when it doesn't go their way.
They were slagging him off the whole
They
tournament.
used to do it to Beckham. They're currently doing it to
Beckham deserved it.
They're currently doing it to Jude. They put Jude on the highest pedestal every Adidas. He's in Adidas ads with Beckham and everybody else, and now they're talking about how terrible he was.
Yeah.
Peyronie's disease. Do you know what that is?
Elaborate.
Hey, Peyronie's disease. They put ads on it for something. It's when you got a bent dick.
Yeah.
And they always show some fruit that's bent Peyronie's disease. And do you know the reason I'm saying that? I think they should stop calling it Peyronie's bees and call it Bend It Like Beckham.
Oh my sweet God!
Don't you?
So
Watch when you see that.
I don't think he wants his name to be tied with that disease.
Should be.
So what's going on with that Italian beer then, Peroni? I mean...
Oh, no, it's Peyronie's disease, spelt to know it is, yeah. Well, I tell you what, you drink too much,
Oh my
does
God.
go like that, doesn't it?
Oh my God. So y'all have no hesitation to say Southgate was a success.
Excuse me, that was classed as an intellectual conversation.
Yeah. Y'all
two soccer
keep
fans.
talking about your Beckham dick, whatever.
Yeah.
So, what would success be for the next manager?
I mean,
Does it have to be a trophy, or can it be? I think it kind of has to, because Southgate's taking you as far as you can without winning.
The next manager has to go one stage further.
I don't think that you could say, well, say Eddie Howe comes in, right? And let's say that he gets to a World Cup final in 2026 and loses. Is it a success, or is it just more of the same?
I think if you lose a final,
it's
the finals
the way they play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you progress to that final's a one-off game. It's
They all are. Yeah.
They all are. You know, so if you progress through that tournament and get through to the final, that has to be a success to get through to the final.
Yeah.
If you win that, it's the icing on the cake. It's a bonus, and everybody wants to do that. You know.
England have got a youth manager, Lee Carsley. Yeah, they're talking about him.
They are talking about him.
He's one of the names. It's him, Eddie Howe. I've seen Thomas Tuchel linked as well. I've seen Graham Potter linked as well.
Yeah, Graham Potter's been linked. I have a feeling Carsley will get it. To be honest,
I kind of think so. But did he win something with the under-21s, under-23s?
I think he's done pretty good. I think he's done pretty good with the under-21s.
They won the World Cup, yeah, because they had that penalty saved by Burnley's keeper now.
And Palmer was in there, wasn't it?
Yeah, Palmer, Smith Rowe.
That's why we lost, because when he scored, he ran past the Spanish bench. Do you remember that, Palmer?
Yes.
With the U team.
Yeah.
And he was getting all cocky, and they said, and they met him, and they
Yeah.
were talking about, we'll get you this time.
Yeah, well, they did.
Come back to get you.
They did. I will say this, though. I thought that the Palmer-Saka dynamic was really good. I thought, like, for the 20 minutes that we got of it in for this tournament, I wish he played them more together, because they are some fun players, man.
When they took them penalties, and they said it was 5 black kids took the penalties.
Yeah.
Obviously, Cole Palmer isn't
He's
black,
white,
but his granddad's
he's black,
Jamaican or God knows what
Jamaican,
else.
Yeah.
But imagine being Cole Palmer and you just say something, I'm black. Oh, fuck off. I'm telling you, I'm black. Oh, fuck off. He undoes his fly, gets it out, have a look at that.
All right.
Oh, yes, of course you are, Tyrone.
Tyrone.
Yeah, Tyrone, yeah.
Jesus
I'm telling you,
Christ.
that's the only way you can prove it.
Oh, my God. All right, well... Other things we got coming up, we do have the Olympics coming up here very soon. Another chance for some more soccer. Do we have anything to say about that? Any thoughts on that? Again, I know I'm going to sound like a broken record. I think France are the clear favorites for the Olympics. I think that you're captained by Lacazette, a player with a lot of experience. Their youth setup is just better than everybody else's.
We never enter the Olympics, do we?
I don't think you are.
I don't think we enter it, do we?
No.
We didn't make... Well, the reain being... It's Great Britain. We didn't. We're not allowed. We're not allowed to, because when it's the Olympics, it's England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales go in as Great Britain.
Yeah.
I never watch it.
We can't put, and the FA won't allow them to go in as that. So
I never watch it.
No, I don't. I mean, if England were there and they got to the final, like even with the women, if they get to the final, I want to get to the Olympic final and play the Yanks.
I'll tell you what. For the USA women's team is not looking near. The rest of the world caught up, is what I'll say. Is what
there
we
is
learned.
That, but also, all the old ones are fine. They're finding Morgan. She's not in it now.
Alex Morgan's gone. You look at all the other, like Lindsay Moran.
Morgan, she was one of the top players. She was young.
She was one of the names until she was at Spurs, but yeah.
That's it. Now she's an old hag.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say that personally, but you've got new names coming into the US. Sophia Smith is one of the big ones, the young striker. But I'll just say this, I don't think the U.S. women's team is going to be as good as everyone thinks they're going to be. Everyone thinks that since we used to just walk World Cups and walk competitions that we'll come in and do it again, we lost last Olympics. And we not only lost, we got cooked by Sweden.
Like, they kind of had it on their own for a while. I mean, a few countries.
It was us, and then there was Japan, but now it's USA, Japan, Netherlands, France, Sweden, Spain, everyone, England, everyone's
for the longest time, the US was one of the only countries that really embraced women's soccer.
There's some funding. There was funding.
And now in Europe, it's coming to the forefront. I mean, all the clubs now got women's soccer teams.
Our coach was Chelsea's coach. So you look at where we're pulling our talent from now. It used to be the other way around, where all these European clubs would come over and take players off the US women's national team and bring them over to their clubs. Like Wolfsburg has a great women's team. Lyon, Barcelona, obviously the best in the world. But now it's the other way. We're kind of starting to pull from England.
Chelsea's women's team, they just got because obviously Emma Hayes left, and they got the woman from Lyon, I think.
Yeah, Leon, I don't know
And
for sure.
they've
But
been a brilliant
women's
so
team
they've got
forever.
a good coach now. Again,
So now
them.
all of the lower league teams in the UK and England are all starting to form women's teams. Or Wigan have just started their own women's team. Brought in one of our old players, Emerson Boyce, to be the
Wigan's women's team beat Wigan's men's team. I believe
They
that.
probably would.
No, I believe
They probably would, Barry. But I think where I'm going with that is eventually you're going to see, you're going to see 92 league women teams in England, just like the.
I know this
the
past
men's
year,
teams.
I think Arsenal started letting women play at the Emirates Stadium.
And then
You filled it up with the Champions
start,
League. You did a couple
Yeah,
of
they
times.
filled it out
the Emirates
multiple
Stadium.
and then you're
times.
going to start getting the promotion and relegation involved
I
in
love
the different
that.
leagues.
They need that. They need that.
It's coming.
Football, soccer in general now. I don't think you. I hope that once the World Cup's here, I mean, it's getting bigger. Once the World Cup's here, it's just absolutely going to.
Yeah.
I mean, we show soccer here, but a lot of places you just can't get in. When the World Cup's on, we won't be as busy as we were here because everyone and his dog's going to show it.
Right.
Once it's over, it's still kind of. It's still not going to be
the World
where.
Cup is everybody. Yeah.
I think a lot of places, some of these sports bars and that, we always put soccer first, and if the Mavericks are playing that, well, fuck off. Arsenal are playing. I couldn't think of another team for fuck's sake.
You never can we? Rent free. We're living rent free in your head right there. We're so there. All right, well, so that pretty much does it for all the questions that I have. I want to make sure no one else has any Olympic predictions, anything like that.
No. I did want to mention one thing actually. I don't know if you guys saw this. Literally, before I got out of the car, before I came in, I was just checking the news, and we're talking about the media.
Yeah.
The Sun has reported that Steve McLaren is in line for the England job.
We're good on that. Yeah, the Sun is one of the worst.
Yeah, almost.
They are the Sun and Daily. Anytime I read a report and then it ends like at the Sun or at Daily Mail, I'm like, well, that was just a load of rubbish. I've got
to thank the Sun. That's where I saw my first pair of titties.
All right, we're on that.
Yeah.
You know what it says, Steve McLaren? How about Barry for the England job? All right, Barry for the England head coaching job.
What about?
I think you do a good job.
What about this? We do the wanker of the week.
Yeah.
And I told you now we're going to do something. I think we might do something where a T-shirt slogan.
Yeah. So you could just put on a T-shirt.
Yeah, something to go on the piece. So every week we'll try and come up. Maybe not every week, but
something fun.
This week's one T-shirt slogan. Okay.
Yeah.
I want one. It says, let me see, the 3 aromas of life.
The 3 aromas of life.
Yeah. Fine cigar.
Okay.
Gourmet coffee.
Oh God.
And a fucking good fart.
There you go.
Is that not a T-shirt?
Oh, that's a T-shirt. That's a T-shirt. That's definitely a T-shirt. But on that note, I want to say thank you to Mike again for being here.
Thank you.
Taking time, sharing his knowledge of England and the Euros with us. It was a great tournament. It was a fun tournament.
Yeah.
It's brutal the way it ended for England. Do we have? Sorry, one more thing.
Are you looking forward to the season with Wigan?
Yes, I am.
Anything new that gives you that hope?
Well, our transfer embargo has expired, so we're bringing in new players. We've got
you can go into Spanish kids that play for. You can go for them now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
You got the budget for the 17-year-old world beater, and then Hiko Williams. He's only going to be like 100 million. What's Wigan's budget? 300 this summer?
We brought Roberto Martinez over like years ago.
I'm ready.
Sure. Yeah, that'll.
In fact, we brought him and 2 other Spanish players we call the Three Amigos.
Oh, well, you're just going to do that again.
I was reading because of I can't remember his name. The Spanish kid, 16 years of age.
Jamal.
You got the other one. There's
Nico
another
Williams.
one that's 17. The Turkish kid.
Oh, Gouler.
Yeah. So you got all these 16, 17-year-olds. And they said they have actually brought another 40. I think it was something like 2 to 3. 20, 30, 40,000 more people watching it because of that.
Yeah.
Because of that youth.
Because of who they are.
They found out later on they were all pedophiles. I'm telling you, but it's brought a whole new different fucking group in.
You know, actually, after winning the Euros, Nico Williams, he was doing an interview, and they said, "How does it feel like finally with your Spain?" He goes, "This is great, but this will be nothing compared to my transfer to Wigan this summer." That's actually exactly what he was saying. So, guys, thank you again. Thank you to Mike for being here. We'll wrap up with Wanker of the Week here in a minute. And again, big thank you to Mike Hewit. Another time for him being on the podcast. Love listening to his stories about England, Wigan. He's a really knowledgeable man. I don't care what you say, Barry. I think he's a pretty good guest.
No, he's fine.
He's fine. All right, well,
good thing about him, if ever he wants to go gay, he can change his last name. Mike Blewett.
I knew that was coming, yeah. Speaking of Blewett, England.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, you set yourself up for that one, buddy. I'm sorry. That was an absolute slam dunk.
You make the right Mike here's that comment.
Yeah, I did not make that when Mike was here. I didn't want to use his last name to insult England. That didn't seem like the wisest idea. I'm not the largest man.
So, what are we going with?
We're going to go Wanker of the Week. We always got to wrap with Wanker of the Week.
As I said, Wanker of the Week, it's the security or lack of
Colin
security.
Ball?
Is that what they're called?
Colin Ball's the overall organisation that was in charge of the everything.
Yeah. No, that was a joke. The main one was when the Uruguayan families got involved or
so
people
you're going
them.
back to the semifinals where the
it's
fans...
same thing, isn't it?
I mean, the crazy thing is that one of the fans that Darwin Nunez punched, his day job, priest.
Oh, really?
Priest. And he was screaming and fighting Darwin Nunez or something. So
no, it's no, when you're there and they've got the families. I saw a picture of Nunez after he was crying. He's got his kid in his arms.
They were calling out his family and they were threatening. And
a similar thing happened actually. I mean, different thing, but West Ham had that. They got into a final in Europe. And
you're talking about the Conference League final? Yeah.
West Ham had it. So they got to give the families more security.
Yeah.
And security in general. When the World Cup's here, they better fucking shape up because I know it was a different group. Mm-hmm. It's going to be in different hands. They need to be ready.
Yeah, I mean, that scene at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami was insane, to say the least.
It could have been a high type thing, actually.
It really could have been a lot worse when you look at just how it went down and how unorganized it was and how little power security had to not only prevent it, because at that point preventing it was done, it was controlling it, but they couldn't control it.
Not high, so it could have been like a Hillsborough disaster.
Yeah.
If that's how it starts.
It could have been.
Or a lot of people, no tickets getting in, or a gate get open that shouldn't have got opened. Mm-hmm. As I said, they had it at Wembley when they had the Euro final.
No,
there.
it could have been a stampede. Like, literally could have been a stampede. People just running through, and you got people there, smaller people that could just get run over. It was... Luckily, there wasn't any injuries. What?
Was I in that group you just mentioned?
Smaller people? No, you'd be running over people. You'd be running people over. You're a tank, Barry.
Yeah,
you're an absolute tank. And then, I mean, it's just really strange. I mean, the match getting delayed an hour and a half, hour 15, hour and a half, whatever you want to call it. I think it was an hour 15 more directly, but it's irrelevant.
Because I saw on the TV, it kept showing the lights were going on and off.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that was people breaking in and they knocked something or...
Well, I saw people literally crawling through vents.
Yeah.
Like lifting each other up to crawl through ceiling vents and then hopefully drop down once you're in the stadium like you're watching some fucking Jason Bourne movie or something.
Last year, the Chelsea fans were doing that.
Yeah, to get out.
Just to get out.
Yeah, I knew you were going with that one. Come on now. We worked together for too long.
I'm feeding you.
I like it. No, I like it. You're throwing the alley, I'm dunking the oop. I love it. So you're going with the Colin Ball organizers for the Wanker of the Week?
Somebody could have got hurt, killed, whatever. So that was it. They know soccer. They know soccer fans. Just be fucking ready.
I'm going to agree with you.
We're trying to save dollars. Is that what it is?
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Well, how much the tickets were? People were paying $2,500.
Yeah, I mean, for them to pay for security.
Oh, it would have been. I mean,
it might have been all down the wall. It's cost too much.
All the money that they would have paid for security would have been probably cheaper than this disaster has been for them. Yeah. We think about the moving the times, the ticket loss revenue, everything. It's just, I mean, it was, I don't know the last time I saw something like that, to be honest.
So nothing changes though, does it? Argentina win again and England don't. I mean,
it is a repeat.
No matter what tournament it is.
For Argentina, that's now 2 Copas and a World Cup in a row. They're the number one team in the world, undisputed. England back-to-back losses in after regular time. No, sorry, they lost.
Any idea where that put England up in the...
You were 5th. I would assume you honestly might move up for finishing there. Maybe it's like 4th or 3rd. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Yeah. But, I mean, I think it's tough. I do think that England have a great generation of players coming up. You look at your Bellinghams, your Sakas, I'm not saying Foden because I don't put him in that group personally.
Tyrone.
Sure, Tyrone. But you have a lot of younger players. Kobe Mainu, obviously.
No, we do. I mean, if you're a manager taking the England job, you've got some good players to work with.
Yeah, I agree.
Anyway, we'll see.
Yeah, so I think that'll just about do it for our episode. I'm going to agree with you on Wanker of the Week. It's got to go to those fans. I mean, it's unacceptable. Yeah. It's also just ridiculous human behavior to try to run in like that when you don't have a ticket. Like,
I want to mention one thing. We
Go ahead.
got so busy here.
Yeah, let's wrap with this. We got overwhelmed.
When I say what happened at that stadium happened to us here.
Really?
We had people coming in all different doors. I was trying to stop them on the door. You couldn't move in here. We couldn't serve people. There were people outside trying to get a drink. We just couldn't serve them. And we got caught out. So anything in future, we'll be ready for it. Mm-hmm. But we have to keep the side doors open. They're exit doors. They're fire. We can't lock them.
Yeah.
So anybody, if you're listening, that was here, we apologise, but we couldn't serve people. We couldn't get through the crowd ourselves to serve them.
Do you want to talk about the 1-star review before we leave?
Yeah, one silly bitch gave us 1 star.
I love that you started with silly and then went to bitch as if you weren't going to curse.
Well,
and then followed by
she said she's
immediately
been here as a couple and she's enjoyed it. Well, you can see that was just...
I will say this too. I read her review, so I just want to talk about this. She said she arrived at 11:30 for a 2 p.m. game and it was already packed and she couldn't seat her group of 6. You're damn right. You're not entitled to a table.
Yeah.
You do not.
And
there's no reservations.
I can understand they're getting mad. We couldn't serve them. We got overwhelmed. I don't care if I'd have had 20 staff on. We could not get through the crowd.
There was nothing you can do.
It was dangerous, and it was dangerous for us. Thank God nothing happened, but it won't happen again. But we've only been here that's our first big tournament in this pub.
And
our
England
other
in the
pubs,
final
we
too.
know what to do because we've been doing it. This one here, I wasn't expecting it. I had enough staff to be ready, but not the security side thing. I just didn't have it, and so I apologise. And I understand the woman getting
upset
and maybe writing that review, and then but give us a fucking break.
Give us a break. Give them a break, guys. They did their best. I mean, again, though, if you were here, though, I'm sure you had a good time. I'm sure you had a good time. I mean, the atmosphere here was insane for the England games. The beer flying. I mean, Mike talked about it. It really is just the place to be. So if you're looking for a place for the Olympics, guys, that's the next big thing coming up. I know it's Great Britain, not England. I don't even think they're playing soccer, but plenty of good events, plenty of fun stuff. So make sure you come on down to the London and catch the Olympics.
I say, because the US women, they got Germany, I think, and
France.
They do.
Yeah, there's some tough games. And then the men's soccer, like I said, I've got France as my favorite. Thierry Henry coaching them. I think there's going to be some very fun sides to watch in this soccer tournament as well. So make sure you come on down to.
And then after that finishes,
we're right back in it.
EPL.
We're right back in it. So guys, it's all happening really quick. Thank you again for being here for another episode, and we will catch you next time.